What's your story?
Yo, what up, y'all? Y'all might know me as G Willie or Greg, and this is my story.
Right. So tell everybody where you from.
New Orleans, Louisiana, Holly Grove.
Holly Grove.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell people, if before yourself, it was your background growing up.
Background growing up, I come from a two-parent household, and I went to Catholic school all my life until college. I graduated from Dillard University, and I spent some time at Xavier too. That's it.
Oh, so you went to both.
Yeah, I went to both.
Okay.
That was the beginning of the end for school. You know what I'm saying? Like started at Xavier, then I transferred to Dillard, and that was it. And the party got started early on because I finished school early. I finished from Dillard like in 3 years, so I had an extra year, and that kind of like led into this party stuff.
And so let's bring it back. So, what year did you actually become one?
We ain't talking about years right now. We ain't talking about no years right now, you heard me?
Man, you gotta give them history, man.
Hey, look at here, son. We ain't talking about no years right now. Long story short, we was basically play basketball every summer at Xavier for free play, and then we go get something to drink and go sit in the parking lot, just talk trash. And one day we was like, man, we gotta just throw some parties. Like everybody knows us. It started off as a group of I think it was 8 or 10 of us originally. And first party was a hit. It was hosted by Young Maine, which y'all know now is Mac Maine. One of the basketball players for the Hornets at the time, James Lang. And literally everybody pulled up. The whole city and every college in the city. And it was after that it was a wrap. Been here ever since.
So where that party was at?
That party was at Twiropa Mills.
What was that?
on Chapatulas. It was on Chapatulas right by the convention center.
Okay. So fast forward from that party, what can you say? What was your biggest party? Well, it was your biggest event.
Oh, that's it.
That you have through so far.
Biggest event I ever thrown in my life was NBA All-Star Weekend
I knew you
2014.
was about to say that.
I mean, Diddy, Drake, Big Boy, Kevin Hart, Janelle Monáe. Man, that part was crazy. Fab. I can't even name all the people that was on that party, but
And the good part is you didn't book all them people.
nah, I booked Fab, and I booked the hometown hero August Alsina. That's who was on the. That was the original host of that party,
And I remember everybody grabbed a mic.
everybody grabbed the mic. Nelly, who else? Busta Rhymes. Yeah, that was an incredible night. That was definitely the night where I was like, damn, this is crazy. Yeah.
And you even made your way for taking pictures up there with everybody.
It's crazy that I ain't getting really that was one of the dopest parties ever in my career. But the part about it is crazy. It's I couldn't even get around, even do all that, because it was every time I would get Kevin Hart in, Diddy was pulling up. I'm like, man, when is gonna stop? And I think at the end of the night, it was we missed people that we just couldn't get in because there was other big time people that was that increased the level of the party, but it was just too much going on. I think ever since then, though, when that happened, though, I'm always prepared for moments like that, especially on weekends when we're a destination city for that. You know what I mean?
Right. And because I remember that party because I always tell people Drake got some of the biggest security guards I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Diddy security, chopping you through, coming through. Drake security guards was crazy. It was a hell of a night, man. So I thank God for that every day, though.
Okay.
That was one of the moments.
And so doing parties, it would actually transition to you becoming one entrepreneur as far as subways and real estate.
Yeah.
So what year did you actually open up your first subway?
I've been in the subway business a long time. I've been in the subway business it's over 15 years. So that was kind of believe it or not, the parties went like maybe maybe a year and a half before we opened our first Subway, and then the real estate came into play maybe like 4 or 5 years later. But it's cool though, you know, like you take things and I don't take nothing for granted though. Like everything I do, I go hard at, cause like everybody don't get the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So when the opportunity there, you gotta go get it.
So let's talk on real estate. In New Orleans. Like, do you think it will, you know, like if I want you to give some advice to someone that's like interested in like jumping in?
Don't try to do nothing too big in the beginning. Get you a little house that need a little work, and it maybe just needs some paint, some floors. Cause everybody want to try. I'm gonna build this complex. The first thing out, don't work like that. It's just too hard. You don't know enough. You gotta learn. You gotta go around and get a mentor. You gotta reach out to people that do this for real. You drive around the city, you're gonna see the same people at most of these houses or some of these houses, and you'll build a rapport with them and try to get you some good contractors, because the contracting business is terrible when it comes to reliable people to work and take your check, take their first front half, don't come back on the job again. So don't go too big to start off with. Always start at your level. Like, you know, come out of the gate with some small investment that you can afford to lose per se.
Gotcha. So, like, what's your advice to someone coming out of high school, college, thinking about becoming one party promoter?
What my advice if you're gonna come out and be a party promoter? You could be broke, so be prepared for some rough days, cause everything not gonna hit, and you shouldn't. Whatever I think that the biggest thing is, like, I know a lot of people be like, I risk it all every time. You can't have that approach, not this day, because at the end of the day, you got to eat, you got to have lights, you got to have water. So gradual, like, you know, work underneath another promoter, and just be honest with them, tell them I want to be a promoter one day. You know, you need to learn how to ball work, you need to learn how to door work. So go get a job at a club, go see. You know, there's so many different ways to angle that, you know, like from being just a promoter. You want to, at the end of the day, I'm a student of the game, or whatever game that I'm going to enter. When I say game, I mean business. I'm always going to want to learn about something going on with the club industry. I'm always going to learn about something going on with entrepreneurship as a whole. I always want to learn about something else going on in the restaurant industry. I always want to learn about something else going on in the real estate industry. Like, you have to read, you have to go look, you have to go get a mentor. You got to do all of that in order to be successful, because otherwise it's just not going to come. Or you're going to have some hell of a trials and tribulations to get to the top.
All right. So I want you to say to the people who think it's just so easy to be in a party promoter. Like, people think you just post on social media, it just got buku phone numbers in your phone.
Nah, I mean, let's be honest. I'm not exactly like heavy social media. You know what I mean? Like, it's about the product at the end of the day. Like, what you delivering to the people. You gotta have so many different, and you gotta be surrounded by the right people though too. You know, like I think that I've done a good job of having a solid team. Like, me and my partner Herb. It ain't just G Willie. Like, G Willie is Greg and Herb. Like, you know what I'm saying? Here we go as Greg and Herb. Like, Herb my right hand man, and Herb, like, he gonna walk in the game. You ain't gonna know in the game, and he playing probably the biggest role in the game. You know what I mean? So you have to have the right people around you when you in this business. And you got to have somebody to tell you that's a dumb idea, because I come up with them all the time. So, you know, like, you got to have somebody that's right there with you, like, that's not a yes man in this, because everybody you want it with the, you know, they think you got the quote unquote idea and they just yesing you to the top. At the end of the day, all that break down so fast. Because you got to have right people around you. And this part of the game is like, it's hard. Like, it's going to be nice. Think about this. Every win and every loss you do in the party game, you do it in public. Got a regular job, you don't do it in public. They don't know you got fired from your job. The world don't know unless you told them. But you know if nobody showed up at that party. There ain't nobody there, man. That party whack. Ain't got nobody in there, nobody buying no bottles. They ain't got no girls there. The girls, they ain't got no men there. Man, it was crowded. And then sometimes people think you made $1 billion because it was crowded. Not knowing that you just spent $1 billion, so you ain't getting nothing. You know, so that's kind of like the ups and downs of it.
All right. So, when did you realize G Willie was actually becoming one brand?
G Willie, that's a hilarious question. I think I realized through the pandemic, because I was like there was no parties, so G Willie just became like something to deal with during the pandemic. Whether it's me with my retarded running videos or me riding in the truck talking crazy about my workers on the real estate job. I think people really miss that. I'm going to start doing that more again because the real estate part is still going on. I just don't have the time to get on the gram and talk about it. But G Willie really became like a thing during COVID.
Okay. So has there ever been one point in your party on like promoting years when you just want to give up?
Give up? No. But scared, yeah. And when I say scared, it's like you get to a point sometimes where you like, man, you think they gonna come? Oops, see, his phone stopped. I was supposed to put this on vibrate. But yeah, I think that the answer to that question is scared, yeah, but and when I say scared, I don't mean scared. I mean like doubtful. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, you're gonna have your doubts, like, cause sometimes it's ups and downs in any business, but when you realize there's ups and downs in life, there's ups and downs in business, then you're gonna be all right too. But you also gotta realize, you know, like, everything comes to an end, like, right? So it's always gonna be do I want to do this anymore type deal. But Lord has blessed me with a talent that I didn't know I had like that until I really got all the way in it. Cause my mom and dad looking at me crazy. I told them we a party promoter. What you went to school for? I'm like, what you mean? And my dad told my mama to let him do what he want to do. He'll be all right. And, you know, thank God.
Hey, because it's kind of crazy because, you know, if your brother is a lawyer,
yeah, he
and
is.
like, you know, your parents like, hey, what do we do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, yeah, it's definitely like a different conversation. It's like, yeah, one of my sons is a party promoter. I don't know, he's a lawyer. Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, totally two different personalities, but you know, yeah, Garrett's hilarious too.
See, we gotta interview him soon.
Yeah. Look, if you're in a wreck, call 393-9111. He gonna take care of you. Garrett Johnson Law Firm. There you go, Garrett.
How do you throw good events, like successful events, without any crime and different things like that?
So what I'll say is I've never taken for granted that when you walk into one of my events, essentially your life in my hand. So if you notice, like, it's been very, very few situations where you felt as if I was short on security. Like, I'm gonna make sure, like, I'm gonna do the utmost to make sure everyone is safe and can get home. Cause at the end of the day, if your security ain't on point, you ain't got no operation. And we don't play about our operations. Like my door staff know what time they got to be to work for. And shout out to Matt and Leslie. They've been with me for 10 plus years. They gonna make sure our door is set. Everybody know what's in place. They gonna know if a security in a bad spot. But that take time. And honestly, we overspend money on security because it is important that everybody is safe inside a building. And the outside perimeter is safe too, because at the end of the day, like, without safety, then people not coming, man.
You have to protect the brand.
And the people, more importantly, because your life in my hand when I take that $20 from you and tell you come to my party, you know?
Gotcha. So, so how important it is to actually build on the right team?
Oh, I think that's the biggest part. Building the right team is, you ain't got no team. You can't win the
give
championship.
Everybody some change, just not like, you know.
Yeah, you get.
Yeah, the record label. You just give everybody some change for Christmas. I saw that.
Nah, I ain't talking about all that, man. Nah, I mean, building the right team is really important because at the end of the day, though, you ain't got no team, you can't win no championship, you know? So at the end of the day, I'm always trying to win, so I got to build the right team. Ask LeBron.
Gotcha. So, like, you know, doing parties with all these athletes and building relationships, like, you were here from, like, you know, doing events when the Hornets first came back, you know, all the way to the Pelicans.
I worked for the Hornets, actually.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that.
Let's hear the story.
I worked in the NBA and the NFL, man. That's kind of what really propelled this whole situation, honestly. I worked for the NBA and the NFL. My last job was working in the NFL. I worked for the Saints. And I got fired. You hear me? This is a good part of this. This is a great story, actually. I got fired. And it was a very important game for the Saints. And I was like 30 minutes late. And I guess I ain't tell them. They gave me to where to be at, and I went to the wrong location. So like that Monday, that dude walked in that office and said, "Man, you better than this. I'm about to let you go." What? I'm better than this? That boy let me keep my lanyard that had my NFL, ID on it and everything. He said, "Man, I'm gonna let you keep this. I'm not supposed to let you keep this, but I just know that you need this." And I'm like, "Man, what this about?" And it really boiled down to he didn't like the fact that the players were familiar with me and we used to party together. We're the same age. They coming to the party. So I'm sitting at the lunch table with them. That was uncomfortable for him, man. Ever since then, when I got fired from there, I said never again. I just knew it was like that was my time,
Ain't nobody firing me again.
Nah, ain't nobody firing me no more. I can't do that. Like that was hard. Going home, tell your mom you got fired. Man, what? You got fired from the NFL? How you did this? Like everybody want that job. You know what I'm saying? So, but everything worked out. And like I think sometimes it go to that old saying, blessings come in like mysterious ways, and you don't know what'll propel you or what trial and tribulation propel you to the next level. And it made me level up. Like I was like, all right, cool. I'm all the way in on parties. Ain't no stopping this now.
Gotcha. So I want you to bring it back. Ever since you talk about the Saints in the NFL, bring it back to that 2009, 2010 year when like New Orleans nightlife went crazy. When you go out on a Wednesday and you might see like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Like listen, Saints Super Bowl year. That was an incredible year for nightlife. It was an incredible year for parades. Mardi Gras was so different that year. Kim K would definitely walk in the club with us that night. Like Sunday nights at Republic, shout out to Big Stan, my big brother. Always in debt to him for just never like holding no knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like Big Stan had Sunday nights at Republic. I don't care if I had a party on a Sunday. If it was like a college party, I'm like, man, I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm about to head to the Stan party too. We're going to do both that night. I'm going to go work that mine and go hang out at that one, So like, yeah, everybody was that was a hell of a year, man. I ain't going to lie. When I went to the Super Bowl that year, it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Went out with the team after, it was crazy. So yeah, nightlife changed in New Orleans that year. I would honestly say like 2009, 2010 Saints season, whatever that Super Bowl was, nightlife was at an all-time high. We had the Wednesday night, I think. Was the Wednesday night with Chris Paul and them? Or with the Pelicans? Or
the Hornets with Chris Paul.
The Hornets was Chris Paul, so that would have been like, that was right after, right?
Yeah. 12th Street Ball or something.
12 ball. Before it was our parade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wednesday nights, you come in there and see the Brassaholics tearing it down, and then all the players coming after the game. It was nightlife was at a peak at that moment for sure.
Right. And so G Willie, and like here we go to brand, being promoters 10 plus years. Do you feel like if the relationships, like with the Saints and the Hornets and the Pelicans actually helped y'all?
100%. Like it was, like we already had steam coming out of college, and you got to realize that the NBA and NFL players, they all 21, 22 years old when they get to the cities. Typically, you know what I'm saying? It was so when you meet in that age range. And it was like, y'all are naturally like, could be possibly partners, you know what I'm saying? And some of those relationships I still have to this day for former players that still play and everything that's, always going to refer your name when they say, man, I'm about to go to New Orleans and go for the weekend. Well, call Greg or G Willie, whoever you call it, you know what I'm saying?
And you also have private events sometimes when the players come in like, you know what? I'm going to get a few people to come through.
Yeah, the private events, the private events are the private events, you know what I'm saying? So, that's been some great things with the private events. We did a few with Drake. We've done some for French Montana and the Pelicans, some other teams. So we done had some hell of a John Morant, or look at me say John Morant. We did a private party for this year. It's been good, man. Like relationships are amazing, but more importantly, it's about the people that typically introduce you to those people. They saw you in their normal light, in your normal light, and was like, that's somebody that I would trust with my friend or my business partner's brand that has propelled to different things, you know?
Gotcha. But I have to ask you this, like, even though you might not answer this, speaking on private events, how is it like going to a LeBron James private birthday party if he just had?
That was dope. Actually, a friend of mine and business partner, Dave, called me and was like, yo, let's go knock this Atlanta event out. Brian doing his birthday. I'm like, what we got to do? And we put the play together, helped out, getting the guest list together, and putting the play together. We booked Lil Wayne, DJ T Lewis on it, and DJ MLK also did it. It was crazy, man. It was a good night, and that was one of the ones that was it was a private party, but it was definitely I didn't know it was gonna go so public after, but it was dope. Like it was a production.
Videos.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. I enjoyed that. That was definitely a moment to finish out 2022. You know, LeBron James' private birthday party was dope. Shout out Lobos. They went crazy.
Speaking of videos, this year, the Pelicans been going crazy. And also last year they went crazy. Yeah. And like every time you courtside, someone will hear your voice.
Man.
So how close did you be to the cameraman?
I don't know the cameraman actually, bro. I have a good time. I'm a real basketball fan. Like, I ain't never played a day of organized basketball in my life. Shout out to my dad. He down bad for not letting me do that because he was like in the middle of school, so I only could play baseball and football. Football's out the way kind of halfway through the first semester, so he was cool with that. And be honest with you, I wasn't that good at football, but I was the kicker though. You know what I'm saying? My senior year, I wasn't hitting the field. I was like, I'm gonna be a kicker. So I think me being a kicker shows you that anything is possible. And I wasn't hitting the field as a D lineman, so I was like, I gotta get on the field some kind of way, so don't stop. Figure it out. And that's what I did. And I think that's kind of like where my life is at right now.
Oh, so you was like that boy, I'm like kid on Class Act?
Nah, I think I was more like a Rudy, but I went to kick, you know what I mean? Like I was just like, I was like, man, I can't hit the field. Everybody going to school on playing football. And we had a great kicker that went to Virginia Tech the year before, my senior year. And I'm like, who gonna be the kicker now? Say, why not me? I got the videos up on the gram. Y'all can laugh at that later.
So, being in the game 10 plus years, tell us, what do you enjoy most about it? And tell us what do you actually hate about it?
I don't hate nothing about throwing a party. Or an event, whatever you want to call it, event curator. I've heard 9,000 events that names for us, promoters. I enjoy the up, the down. I enjoy the process the most. And what brings me to the next level, or what brings me to the next event, is when I hear somebody walk out the door and they say, man, I had a time of my life. What? I'm going back in the lab in that next morning. That's it. All I gotta do is hit that. Or you get on the internet, you see somebody like, oh, we had a time last night. Showtime. That's all the motivation I need.
Gotcha. So tell us, what's next for you?
What's next for me? We have a lot of things brewing right now for 2023. Love and Heartbreak is probably one of the, I think it's become a cultural moment for the city. It's giving nightlife a breath of fresh air. R&B is dominating the clubs, I think, right now. And Love and Heartbreak will be a focal point this year. It was a great year with Love and Heartbreak. We just had our 1 year anniversary the other night with Ashanti, which was crazy. I think one of the biggest shows we've done in a long time. And you're going to see some big stuff dropping with Love and Heartbreak. Shout out to DJ Papa and Herb. Key Carroll birthday party was crazy. So it was good, man. Love and Heartbreak will be the focal point of 2023. You're going to see a lot of stuff coming with Love and Heartbreak. We got the 4-City tour coming up in March. And we got some, I don't know when Darren going to get this interview out to y'all, We got some stuff coming for March.
It was coming next week.
Ooh, well, you gonna yeah, March. March is gonna be. Y'all think Ashanti was big? We got some stuff coming.
But hopefully, we get the interviews over here.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna work on you getting the interviews, bro. I gotta get that done. We gotta set up in a hotel lobby for someone, but yeah, Ashanti was late getting in, so I missed that one. But it was good, though.
We gonna make it work.
Yes, sir.
And also, last but not least, tell everybody, what can they find you at on social media and just everywhere.
At G Willie on everything. That's it. At GEEWILLIE at Here We Go ENT. Also, and if you can't find me, y'all know who to call. Call Herb at Herb HWG.
What's your story?
Z, make them scream. NOLAZINE. Make them SCREAM. Scream. Nola Z, make them scream. You heard me.